Okay, so here it is. This is my Ordnance 30 caliber M1 carbine. This is made by Car, actually, because they actually own Ordnance, and this is an exact replica. I mean, it's a real firearm, but they call it a replica of the Saginaw 1943 M1 carbine. When I bought this at a Big 5 out here in Colorado, and if anybody knows anything about Big 5, they sell California compliant weapons. So it came with this 10-round magazine originally, and right now I have a 110 grain soft point, Winchester soft points loaded into this 10-rounder. But I went ahead and got online and bought a Korean-made KCI 15-rounder, and that has Winchester full metal jackets in it. The 15-rounder is a lot easier to get in the gun, and it actually seems to feed a lot smoother. I almost wonder if this is probably like a Pro Mag, because Pro Mags have a tendency to be hit or miss. So I'm almost guessing this is Pro Mag, because they sell 10-round Pro Mags over in the Big 5 where I bought this rifle. If you guys aren't real familiar with see if I can get that stand up. With M1 carbines, basically they were drafted as a replacement for frontline officers for the 1911 pistol. So this is not really a battle rifle. It's never intended to replace like the M1 Grand or anything like that. But it's more of a kind of a go. But it's an early personal defense weapon is really what you'd call it. This has the adjustable rear aperture sights, so I can switch it, the aperture from large to small. Came with this GI style OD green sling, which was actually already on the gun when I bought it. It has almost like the AR-15 style. No, well, not really AR-15 style, more like the, I guess, Mini 14 style sights. The Mini 14 actually was drafted from this weapon. The Mini 14, as you know, is a 5.56 version, pretty much of this rifle that Ruger came out with in the early 70s, which would make sense because Bill Ruger was a World War II veteran, so he himself probably used these. It's got a push-button safety right there. Has a push-button magazine release. Now to talk about the magazines for a minute with these guys. Standard capacity M1 carbines are 15 rounds. They make 30 rounders for them. I originally wasn't going to get one because I heard that they're not particularly reliable in the M1 carbines because they're made for M2 carbines. M2s are selective fire versions of the M1s. And but I was reading online, and apparently this magazine release has actually been beefed up to accept 30 rounders. So I'm going to go ahead and get a 30 rounder. So I'll have a 10, a 15, and a 30. The ammunition for this stuff is not. The ammunition for this guy is not cheap. You're looking at $30 to $50 a box for 50 rounds of M1 30 carbine ammunition. You might be able to find it for like 18 or 20 some places. I think Aguila makes some cheaper stuff. This is Remington. This stuff here, the soft point is Remington 110 grain soft point, and this is Winchester 110 grain full metal jacket. What I paid for the gun, I don't know if I mentioned that already. MSRP on these is $816. Big 5 normally sells them for $899. Excuse me. And I got this on sale for $739. So I didn't do too badly. Another thing about this rifle, and here's kind of where it's very similar to the Mini 14. You can see the 30 carbine. I don't know if it'll focus on it. U.S. carbine, caliber 30. I think it says, yeah. Yeah. Is that it's bolt and the way it stays open. So what you do is you pull this back, you retract the bolt, right? See that button there? Push that. And that holds the bolt open. Just like on an M1 carbine. Or, I'm sorry, just like on a Mini 14 ranch rifle. Another thing is that, another thing about these magazines real quick. Some of them don't hold the action open. And some of them are specifically built that way. They'll say that they don't, or they'll say that they do. This 10-rounder I don't think does. I think it's a non-hold open magazine. The 15-rounder does. I don't really mess with the 10-rounder too much, not because of its reduced capacity, just because it's not particularly reliable in feeding, and it's just not the best one. So I just have it off to the side. I always have the 15-rounder in it. And actually, the magazines for this guy are fairly cheap, despite how expensive the rifle and the ammunition are. I think I paid $15 for that, 15 or 18 bucks for this mag, so it's not too bad. And I think that the 30-rounder's in the $22 neighborhood, something like that. And the 30-rounder looks pretty cool, kind of sticks out and kind of curves off to the side. And if you've ever seen the famous photo of Malcolm X looking out the window holding the M1 carbine, he's got two 30-rounders jungle taped together. So let's see what else. Does not have a bayonet lug. A lot of the later models did. This one doesn't, because it's a reproduction of an early model, like I said, 1943 Saginaw. Effective range is about I think 300 meters. They had a guy on here, Tennessee TN Outdoors 9. His videos are pretty cool. He was shooting, excuse me, he was shooting his M1 carbine, and I think he had an old World War II Universal, and he was shooting that at 300 yards, and was probably, I think he was producing 5 8-inch groups, something like that with it. So it will do the job. It will it will handle any situation you throw at it. I got to stand up. So yeah, Auto Ordnance M1 carbine. And just real quick, a lot of people don't like these reproductions of them. They say that they're not as good as the World War II ones. And they say to hold out for the nice World War II ones, through the civilian marksmanship program. I looked at the CMP, and they're out, except for unless you want $1,000, like a Rockola that was used by the Bavarian Mountain Police or whatever it is, or Bavarian Municipal Police and Bavarian Prison Service. I'd say you're better off getting just a newer production model one. One of the things I'm going to do is I like the wood stock, and of course I'll always keep it, but I want to get a synthetic stock that's made by Choate. And Carr sells it on their website. They're like $100, and it's plastic, it's synthetic, and black folding stock. You can get them in fixed, but I'm going to get the folding stock. And then that plus a 30-round mag, and I think it'll be a formidable weapon. It already is right now, but it's just that's what I'm going to do with it. I've always wanted one of these, and now I've got one. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten to mention anything else about these, or about this guy. Oh yeah, suggested break-in period's about 200 rounds for these. So in the first 100 to 200 rounds, it will jam on you. It just will, because and it's not the gun's fault, it's not the ammunition's fault. That's they're just kind of built tight, and that's what Carr suggests is about 100 to 200 round break-in period for it. So there it is, M1 carbine. All right, thanks guys. Let me know what you think. Catch you on the next one.